Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. And today you've tuned in to a series of videos I do called Wisdom on Wednesdays, where my spirit guides help us out with some things that we really need to know as humans. Like I literally did a video called The Missing Human Instruction Manual, and you can find that and many more videos on the playlist that I have here on YouTube, completely free for you to peruse. Now, some of these videos cover things like ascension or even Sasquatch and ETs, but a lot of them also cover things like raising your vibration and living your best life, right? So there's a real wide variety for you to choose from. If you click on the logo, you'll go to my main YouTube channel page, and then you go to playlist, you'll see WOW, which is Wisdom on Wednesdays, and you can peruse those videos at your leisure anytime you need a pick-me-up or maybe even just some entertainment, right? Thank you so much for tuning in. And today we're going to talk about 4 reasons why you're not getting guidance. Okay, this is a big deal. We all want guidance from our spirit guides, from our angels, even from our ancestors, right? Sometimes we don't even care if it's the person on the street corner. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to deal with this. Tell me why things aren't going right in my life. Help me, I'm stuck, right? These are some very common things that humans experience during their human incarnation here on Earth. So what I want to do today is keep it pretty simple and straightforward and go through 4 reasons why you're not getting guidance, but also give you a little bit of reason as to why you aren't getting it, but how you can get it, right? How can I get it if that's how I'm not getting it? We're going to help you figure it out. So 4 reasons you're not getting guidance from your angels, your spirit guides, your ancestors. Number 1 is you don't recognize that it's guidance. This is a big one, right? Because even for me, it's so true, actually. And I speak to my spirit guides on the daily. But, we're also very much involved in our human life and living our human life. And that means we're thinking about work or the kids or the grandkids or our neighbors or our health or our money. Those are very, what I would call kind of 3D, very planetary oriented things. And when we're thinking about those things, our energy is directed towards kind of problem solving on the 3D. That is a completely different radio station. That's a completely different website than problem solving on the 5D or the non-physical. And so sometimes we just get in this pattern of, okay, I just got to figure this out, right? I don't know why my boss is being a biatch. I don't know why this thing keeps happening to me. I would say to you guys to pay attention to patterns, because if you're seeing a pattern, that's a really good thing, to be honest with you, because that means you're aware of something that's not working, and it's something that's not working over and over again. That can be really frustrating and irritating, but it also shows you where you really need to pay attention. And then you can switch gears, go to that new website, dial into that new radio station and say, I need help. Okay. They're really 2 different frequencies. So you don't recognize that it's guidance because spirit is trying to help you solve the problem or give you the solution or the help that you're asking for, but it's coming to you in a way that you do not believe is even possible. You just don't recognize it. I could never quit my job. I could never retire right now. I could never XYZ. You've already made your mind up. That's why you're stuck, because you've already made your mind up that some solutions are just not available to you. They're just not. Come on, Susan, let's get real. Maybe they are for you, but they're not for me. Well, here's where you're going to have a problem, because spirit doesn't give a damn about your human, make your mind up limiting beliefs. They don't care about that, because they can see things that you can't. They can see that perhaps if you did go ahead and retire, you would get an offer to do contract work and you'd make more money doing contract work. Or maybe if you did retire, your health would get so much better that you wouldn't need to take all the medications and you could actually afford to retire. So you're not recognizing as guidance. This is a really, really common thing. And again, it happens to me, it happens to all of us because we make up our human minds that only A plus B equals C. And as somebody who failed not geometry, but algebra twice because they substituted numbers or letters for numbers, I can tell you that that's magic. If you guys can do algebra and believe that you're going to throw a C in the middle of a bunch of numbers and you're going to come out with a whole nother number, okay, that's magic to me. So if you can do algebra, you can believe that there's a solution to your problem, that maybe something that you've already decided isn't going to work. Okay. So that's a big deal. Pay attention to things, pay attention to patterns, but also pay attention to people in your life who said, kind of in a ad nauseum, over and over again, you should be a teacher. You should be a writer. You should be a musician. You should be an artist. You should go back to school and be a nurse. If more than one person has told you something like that throughout your life, I mean, it could be anything. I don't care. You should be a dog groomer. I don't care what it is. If more than one person has told you that, that's not them. That is your very tired, very weary spirit guides trying to get a message through to you that you're not recognizing as a message, because you don't believe you could ever be a public speaker. You don't believe you could ever run for political office, yet everybody else thinks you can. So that would be guidance that you're not recognizing. Okay, the next, number 2, is you're not giving them an opportunity to connect with you. So if you're the kind of person who, and this is not a judgment because I'm that person. I'm exactly that person. Where do you think these things came from? My life. So I teach you guys what I experience, right? So you're not giving them an opportunity to connect. And that means that you're stuffing your brain. You're stuffing your brain with thoughts, with worries, with learning, all those things. Now, when you're stuffing your brain with kind of reading or watching a movie or something mindless, that's good. Mindless is where they can come in and drop those gems, that guidance. But when your mind is busy on the little hamster wheel, because you like to learn, there's no judgment about that. But if you're spending all your time learning about things, then your brain is active. If your brain is active, then spirit has a really hard time getting through to that. It really needs to come, the messages need to come in when your brain is quiet or mind is wandering. A lot of times we get messages when we sleep because our thinking brain is switched off. So you can do this by meditating, right? Or you can do this by exercising, taking a walk in the park or exercising, because your mind just clicks off. Your mind doesn't need to be so engaged if you're swimming or if you're walking or running or whatever it is, your yoga, whatever it is you're doing, your brain is not engaged. Your brain is on downtime. Anytime your brain is on downtime, spirit guides, angels, ancestors can get guidance in. Another way to do this is to start a hobby. When we're just, and don't those things feel good? You know what I mean? Like you're gardening and you're really into it, and the hours go by, or you're painting, you're really into it, you're making music, you're doing a craft, you're crocheting, whatever it is. When you're into your hobby, the hours just go by, don't they? You're so concentrated on that craft, right? And time flies by. Now, some of y'all do that at the poker table, okay? Like for real. Some of y'all are at the penny slots. I know who y'all are. That's not exactly what spirit guides are saying. Plus, they just said secondhand smoke is terrible. But anyway, firsthand smoke is terrible. But they would say that Las Vegas is not exactly the idea of mindless, pulling the machine or pushing the button. That's not what they had in mind. Okay, I'm just saying. Maybe it works for you. Maybe when you do that, you get guidance. The guidance is probably go out and breathe some fresh air, but pay attention to that guidance if you get it too. So give them an opportunity. Also, even just in the shower, a lot of times we get guidance around water because water is a great conductor of energy. So sometimes we're in the shower and we get this aha moment. An aha moment is guidance. The thing that you get that's out of left field, that is guidance. Go back to number one. You don't recognize it. This is the kind of thing that you would go to a friend or a spouse and you would say, I had the craziest idea. Listen to this. And then your friend goes, that's a great idea. That would be perfect for you. And you're like, what? Come on. That's just crazy. The spirit guides gave you the guidance in number one, you didn't recognize it. Number two, you gave them an opportunity to get it to you, but then go back to number one, you didn't recognize it. Okay. Give them more opportunities. If you want help, you've got to give them more opportunities. Analogy that they use all the time is, because this has happened to probably the majority of us, you're in a car, you're trying to merge onto a busy freeway, and there's no openings. I mean, you're not even driving, you're sitting on the on-ramp, and the traffic is bumper to bumper. The person sitting on the on-ramp is your spirit guide, your angels, your ancestors. And all the cars on the freeway that are bumper to bumper is you with your brain being overstimulated, either by worry, fear, learning, or just thinking, problem solving. None of those things allow spirit to get in. So create some breaks in those activities so your spirit guides can help you out and give you some good guidance. Number 3 is not taking action on the guidance. Well, because go back to what we just said, where you have this aha moment in the shower, you tell someone and they're like, my God, that's perfect for you. That's the best idea I've ever heard. You should definitely go buy a farm and get llamas. And they say this with a straight face. And you say, I really love you and respect you, but are you day drinking? You know what I mean? Like, have you lost your mind? But your friends, your loved ones, your family, people that are really true, that aren't narcissists, that aren't gaslighting you. If you say this to one of those people, they're going to laugh at you and they're going to further embed this sense of being stuck and not being to get help. So look to the helper, like Mr. Rogers, find the helpers in your life. Those are the people who we don't listen to because they already love us. They're already trying to help us. We're busy over here trying to get this narcissist to love us because that's the challenge. Look to the people that love you. Look to the people that are kind to you, that are supportive of you. Spend more time with them. And if you tell them something and they say, yes, you should do this, take it a little bit more seriously. Maybe not buy the farm with the llamas, but take it a little more seriously than you would. Because why would you have the thought? For you analytical people, where did the thought come from? So it came from somewhere. It's guidance. So the third thing is not taking action because you don't believe that it's real. You don't understand it. Again, go back to number 1, where you have limiting beliefs, right? So if you can start building a connection with your spirit guides and your angels, and I would do that by doing it around things that are not important. So for instance, you're at the grocery store and you think, I'm going to buy flowers because I want to brighten my mood. And you ask your guides, you pick up some flowers and you pick up another and you say, this one or this one or that one. And you're going to get it. You're going to work this out. This is a muscle you need to work out. This is not something that's going to happen magically. It might be a muscle that's kind of flabby and you need to work it out, right? But you can start to get a feel. Yeah, this one has better energy. Trust it. You want to build this trust around things that don't matter. You don't want to wait until you have a question like, should I retire? Should I sell my house? Because your brain is the loudest voice in your head. It's the biggest energy in your body. It's always going to be the biggest energy in your body when you're talking about something that is so very important to you. So it's even harder to hear your spirit guides, angels, and ancestors when it's something important. So you really need to build this muscle, this intuitive connection to these important guides in ways that don't matter. So sometimes I go to the supermarket and I go to an aisle and I say, here's something I wouldn't normally buy or I wouldn't normally like. And I just say, would I like this? Yes or no? I've done videos where I've done this, where I've bought things and brought them home and tried them. And I would say, like 98% of the time, they're right. You're not going to like that. You're going to hate that, or you're going to like that. And I'm like, wow, I really like it, So you can do this, you can test this out where you can start to trust the guidance on things that don't matter. Food, go to your closet and say, what is the best color for me to wear today? What's going to give me the best energy? Everything is energy. Again, so you're flipping the radio station from 3D to 5D. 3D, well, you're in your bedroom and there's a closet. 5D, you're like, okay, I got kind of a day today, or I'm in a mood today. What's the best color for me to wear today? Just try it and see if when you pick the color that's the best color for you, even if it's not something that you would normally wear, or you don't often wear, or you didn't feel like, I don't want to wear that color today. Why? I don't want to wear red. But yet you put that on and then pay attention to the people that comment, because you're going to get people that notice you and compliment you. If you write all this down, it's going to help you trust what you get. Because if you keep a little journal, either in your phone or in a notebook, and the guides just said one of you is going to make a spreadsheet. You're going to actually get a scorecard for the spirit guides. And this is good. Do it, right? A scorecard for the spirit guides. I asked what color to wear on this date, and I got 3 compliments. I asked if I would like this brand of food or this type of thing at the grocery store. I loved it. I asked if I should take this route to work or whatever, and it was smooth sailing. The thing that trips us up is we don't know what the other route would have been like. But how many times have you done this? How many times have you said to yourself, I knew it. I knew I should have brought my umbrella. Something told me that I shouldn't have taken this road. Darn it. I knew it. We've all done that. That's guidance. When you say, darn it, I knew it. Well, how did you know it? How did you know it? That was guidance. It's all over our lives. We just don't pay any attention to it. We dismiss it. A lot of things we say, don't ask me how I know, but this is going to happen. They're going to get a divorce. How do you know? My God, they're like tight. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know how I know. Don't ask me. I don't know, but they are. And 6 months later, your friend comes back to me and says, you're right. And you're like, about what? You said they were going to divorce. And you would say, I never said that. And they're going, yes, you did. And like, I didn't say that, because that was guidance. It came out of your mouth before you knew what was happening, because you weren't aware. You didn't have any boundaries about your abilities, because you don't believe you have abilities. So then it just comes out your mouth unbidden and unchecked. And if that's happened to you, that's what's happening. You don't have boundaries around your abilities because you don't believe you have abilities. Okay. So the last thing is a little bit interesting, and it is getting it wrong. Okay. Because this is a big one. So you're going to say, okay, Susan, I got the scorecard, girl. I got the scorecard. And it says right here that I said, should I take this route to work? And I took that route to work and it was closed. It was a detour. It put me 10 minutes back. It was horrible. So the guides, they failed on that one. Now, the first thing I would say is, why don't you whip out your statistics and see statistically if that matters? If they're wrong 1 out of 20 times, I think you have a pretty good batting average, right? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But I would also say, when you think it's wrong, the spirit guides right now are telling me you have a song out there that's called Thank God for Unanswered Prayers. So it could have been that if you got the guidance to take this route, this driving route, and it was a big mess, it could be that the other way, you could have been in an accident. The other way could have been an even bigger mess because of an accident. We don't know. We have to have faith. We don't know the route we took, the decision we didn't take. We don't always know that that was a better or a wrong decision. That's why I would say, if you write this stuff down, even if you don't want to do a scorecard, even if you just jot it down in your phone, today's date, or keep a note. They're actually saying many of our phones have a notes option, and put spiritual guidance at the top. And then every time you have an entry, put the date. So it's all together, because this is the important part of understanding that you're not getting it wrong, or if you are getting it wrong, why you got it wrong. Because number 2 of getting it wrong is that you acted on guidance before it was finished. So if you are listening to your favorite podcast, and all of a sudden it's like the most important part, and you're like just so tuned into this, and all of a sudden the connection starts breaking up, and you're hearing like every third, fourth word, and then you're missing sentences, but yet you decide that you got the gist of it. You're like, okay, never mind. I know, I got the instructions. I got it. I know, because you inferred from what they were saying that you could hear clearly, skipping over the broken up part to what you heard after that. And there's that algebra again, because you're trying to figure out something that isn't there in the middle. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go for it. This means this is my sign. I'm supposed to do this. But what I have found, because that's me, I'm like, I am so ready for action that if they give me one sign, I'm done. I'm out the door. So I had to learn the hard way. One sign is one sign. Spirit, think about a sentence. If you just have one word in a sentence, you don't understand the whole sentence. You don't know what they're going to say. If I said, I can't, and you didn't hear anything else, I can't what? You know what I mean? Or go do, and you didn't hear anything else, you know what you're going to do? You're going to fill in with your 3D mind, which is the worst possible thing, because it's all convoluted, full of bad advice and limiting beliefs from your own childhood, limiting beliefs from the narcissist being gaslighting you. So you're going to fill in, and also society. Society says you should do this. Society is not going to come to you and say you should be a Reiki healer. They're not going to come to you and say you should do something bold and amazing. They're going to say you should go to vocational school. You should get a job, and you should start paying rent and get a mortgage. I mean, that society keeps us small. It's very tribal, and it makes us fit into a bigger community. It's not very individualistic. Your spirit guides are not part of your community. They are much more elevated energy that can see your highest potential for your life. And sometimes we just see our lowest potential for a lot of reasons. So if you just get one sign and you fill in the blank space, you're going to shoot for the lowest potential for a lot of reasons, because it's safe, because it's easy because, it's safe. It's safe. It's safe. It's safe. Let's just face it, right? But if you let spirit continue to guide you before you make that decision, they have to convince you, hey, you can really get up here. And you're like, no, 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 I'm down here, man. I can't, no way. I can't, you don't know me. Like, you don't understand my situation. You're not walking in my shoes. They're walking in your shoes for real. And they know your potential, but they've got to convince you. So if you just act on that one advice or that one guidance or that two guidance, you're probably not going to get up here. Because if you could get up here, you wouldn't be down here. So you really need to build the muscle of getting the guidance and build your self-confidence and build your self-compassion. Because once we believe in ourselves that we can do it, then the guidance becomes an instruction manual. The guidance becomes GPS, a map, a route. And then we can put that guidance into action step by step by step. No, we're not just going to wake up tomorrow and be all the way up here. There are steps. Absolutely, there are steps. But sometimes we have to get to the point where we realize spirit can provide us steps. And then we have to get to the point where, can I trust these steps? And then we have to get to the point where, am I worthy? Am I worthy of getting guidance? Am I worthy of elevating myself? Am I worthy of that? I don't know. If you have resistance, if you're like, I don't know, man, I just don't know that I can do that, then that's a worthiness problem. So you can work on that. I've got lots of videos about that. Again, free, all in this WOW playlist. But what you want to do is you want to start saying, I am worthy. I am loved. I am smart. I am beautiful. And you're going to look in the mirror in your own face and say that to yourself. That is a game changer. You're actually reworking or rewiring your own inner circuitry that was disconnected or burned out because of some bad advice or some bad relationships or bad parenting. You're actually reconnecting the wires again so that you're whole. And once you start doing that, then Spirit says, here are the steps. And then you just start following them because you trust, because you have faith. I've shared with you guys many times, I would not be here. I would not be talking to you on the screen because I never, ever, ever, ever talk to people in public. I hid behind a camera. I was a photographer for 22 years. I never stood on stage. I never had a microphone. I was never even had pictures of me, much less done a video of me. And I am here today because I've done the things that I tell you to do, because I know they work, because I've walked the walk to get here. I know if you do these things and you work on yourself and you start to love yourself and you start to be compassionate to yourself and stop the critical thinking, the critical analyzing, even if it's in the idea of getting better. Like some of us think, I'm going to get better, so I'm going to really be hard on myself to force myself to get better. That doesn't work. That's probably what happened to you in your childhood. What actually works is compassion. Okay, Susan, you didn't go to the gym today. Okay, Susan, you didn't get all the work done that you wanted to do. Okay, Susan, your house is not as clean as you want it to be. Okay, duly noted. Am I okay with this? Because if I'm okay with this, then maybe I'm using somebody else's yardstick to judge my life. What is my yardstick? What do I want? What matters to me? Then you can say, okay, I really do care about XYZ and I'm not doing XYZ. So I wonder why. I'm not doing XYZ? Am I okay? Do I feel okay? Do I need more rest? How can I help myself do XYZ? Again, think of yourself as like a 3-year-old. If a 3-year-old's trying to learn to tie their shoes and they can't do it, I hope that you're not going to swat them and tell them they're stupid. Maybe that happened to you. I don't know. But you might lean over and say, let me help you. Let me show you how to tie your shoes. And you might do it 20 times or 50 times. Think about potty training a child, okay? So why don't we give ourselves 20 times to learn something? Why do we only give ourselves one time and then we're just like down on ourselves and so critical? We've got to really treat ourselves like we would a child learning something new. Not like, and you might say, with Susan, we should know better. Why? You were raised a certain way to believe that you were lazy or fat or dumb or unattractive or whatever. That was your training. You got 20 times of that. To undo that is going to take more than 20 times. You're undoing something that was done to you that is not helpful. So you undo it, and then at the same time, you start to trust spirit. You start to do these little things. Should I wear this color? Should I wear that color? Is this crystal feel good to me? Does this crystal feel good to me? Which one feels good to me? Put it on your chest. Ooh, I don't know. I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything. Okay, maybe I do. If you're an analytical person, you think you're making it up. I don't care. Make it up. The language of spirit is your imagination. It's not your brain. It's your imagination. It's your subconscious. So if you hold this labradorite to your chest and you're like, I think I feel something. I might feel something. I don't know what I feel. It feels weird. I don't know. That's all valid. That's valid. You're starting to trust. You're starting to trust. Just go with it. And then pretty soon you'll pick up something and you'll be like, "Whoa, not that one. Nope, not that one. Not today." But this is how it begins. You have to begin somewhere. You have to begin at the beginning. Okay? I hope this was helpful to you. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you just want to share your experiences. If you ever watch any of the wow videos, please just go straight to the comments because you guys have had the most amazing experiences of anybody on the planet. I'm not kidding. You guys are PhD level, amazing humans that are doing the work. Doing the work is sloppy. Doing the work is messy. It's not perfect. We're not going to be perfect. But sharing our experiences can help others see, wow, you know what? I had that same experience and I didn't think about it the way you did. And you've really given me a new perspective. So I always say when we share, we learn. And lastly, I would just leave you with, I do have an online community, $12 a month. It is vibrant. It is popping. It is a social media platform made by me, for me. It's not Facebook. It's not anything else. There's more than 400 people there chatting, talking, sharing, and supporting each other. So that's another thing. If you don't want to join my community, go to your local crystal shop. Take a class down there. Get to know people who are like you. Get people who share your own interests. Again, Mr. Rogers, where are the helpers, right? It can be so helpful to you, okay? You can find anything out that you want to know about me, including classes, events, whatever, at my website, SusanLynnMedium.com. It'll be also in the description of this video. Take really, really good care of yourselves, okay? I'm going to leave some videos around here for you to check out, including a link to the playlist. So you can just click that link and go right to the playlist. Or maybe there's going to be a little, what they call a card for no reason that I can understand because it sort of looks like a tab. But there'll be a video up there. If it looks interesting, check it out. And if you think this video was helpful, think about subscribing and sharing, okay? Have a really good day today. You are worthy. You are loved. Take good care.